Hello there. Hi. Um, Sorry we're in my bedroom again today. It's just been really cold here lately. So I wanted to be somewhere nice and cozy. So sorry for the poor quality video. But I want to talk about something today that I think will actually be of a lot of interest to a lot of you writers. I tutor writing. A lot of you guys know that, and I actually had one of my students and I were talking this week about writer's block and how to overcome writer's block. And I was sort of thinking, hey, my blog readers would probably like to know what I have to say about this too. So today I'm going to talk about writer's block and some things that have worked for me in the past when it comes to overcoming writer's block and getting creative again. So writer's block is something that happens to everyone. If you're struggling with it, you are not alone. Trust me, I have it all the time. And whenever I sit down and I have to be working on something, or even just like blogging, I get like these huge brain, like, what am I going to write about? I have no idea. And so, especially when I was writing my first two books, it was like you go through sections where you just are so stuck and you have no idea what to do next. So I've had a couple different things that have worked for me in the past. The first thing that I've found that has helped overcoming writer's block is taking a break from writing for a while, or even taking a break from working on that particular story. So sometimes it helps if I'm in the middle of a book and I'm really stuck in a certain scene to just sort of stop and take a break. I'll go and do something. Sometimes just stepping away for an hour or two is enough. Sometimes it takes, stopping for a couple days or for a week and just working on other stuff or just taking a break and being like, you know what, I'm not going to worry about writing until Sunday or like set a date or whatever. And it can give your head some time to just clear and even if you're working on other stuff, like sometimes I'll take this opportunity if I'm stuck in my story to go and work on my blog or to work on another story. Just like you start thinking creatively again because you're working on something else so you don't feel as stuck and as pressured. So sometimes taking a break or working on something else can be a great way to overcome writer's block. Another thing that I like to do is when I do feel like I'm inspired, I just write. And a lot of my blog entries are actually written like after, like I'll have afternoons where I just am feeling so inspired to write and I'll just do like all these blog entries and then I'll just set them aside for weeks when I'm not feeling inspired, then I can post them and I'm fine. So if you're like in a really creative mood, maybe you should write more than you usually write just because it's flowing. And I also like to write lists when I'm in a creative mood. So I'll write lists of things that I wanted to write about, or when I'm writing stories, I'll write things that I want to talk about later on in the story so that I don't forget about them. So I can be like, oh yeah, that was a really great idea that I had that day. Another thing is reading. When you have writer's block, going and reading some of your favorite books. Like I like to reread books that I already love because it inspires me and it reminds me, okay, why am I writing? I'm writing because I want to create something like this. I want to be able to express myself the same way this author expressed themselves. And it can inspire you to go back and read your favorite stories. It can remind you why you wanted to be a writer. Also, I encourage authors when they're working on their stories to first write out why this story is important for them to tell. So when you're writing a book, when you start out, just sort of take some time to write down, why is this story important to you? What do you want people to walk away from the story understanding about life and about the human condition and about people? And I go back to that all the time when I'm writing, when I'm feeling stuck and I'm like, why am I even working on this story? There's such a pain. And I go back and I read that and I think, I was so passionate about this story when I started out. And I had such a vision for it. And sometimes I can just, that vision can be rekindled and I can want to work on it again just by reading that. So when you're writing, write to yourself like little notes about why this story is important to you so that later on when you feel like it's just so frustrating, you can go back and you can look at that and you can remember why you need to keep pushing forward. So writer's block is something that happens to everyone. I mean, it's never easy and there's never one quick solution to getting out of it, but I would just encourage you to do things that are creative to you, to take breaks, to step away from it every now and then. And when you are feeling inspired, to just go at it and to give it your all. Because my favorite work has always came in those moments when I was feeling inspired and the moments when I felt stuck. I mean, you don't want to write when you're feeling stuck. I just think you should take a break, do something that you enjoy, and then come back to it when you feel that passion being rekindled. So I'd love to hear y'all's advice on overcoming writer's block. I'm sure everyone has different opinions and different things that have worked for them. And hopefully we can all get through that together and get back to telling the stories that are important to us. I'll see y'all later.